represented by the Sergeant Gabas Kuso, the UNICEF representative, the program manager, Raza, the field officer, NGGW, the Honorable Commissioner, Minister for Agriculture, represented by Director Malam Mansour Shankafi, all invited guests, our partners of the progress, that is the press, the SPC, that is Program Coordinator, Agrisal and his team, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. This year, World Environmental Day era marks the United Nations Environment Program, UNEP, with the theme, Our Land, Our Future. Land restoration, dishabitation, drought and resilience come to the right time. Every year, the 5th of every year, that is 5th of June, is the World Environment Day, an international moment to celebrate the change makers to protect our planet and also inhabitants of their works, spans and advocacy. Education and academic studies, conservation of efforts, and sustainable business practices. The key challenges of our present environment, among others, but not limited to air pollution, overpopulation, land degradation, deforestation, waste management, flood and controlled erosion, greenhouse effects, global warming, climate change. Although those challenges are multi-sectoral in nature, that comprises of environment, agriculture, and water resources, respectively. Mostly man-made, which cannot be controlled to an extent. The state government has taken adequate measures to control or reduce it through the following ways. One, that is the establishment of Forest Management Agency for afforestation and also reforestation activities. The second, which is the establishment of Soil Minerals Development Agency, that is to reduce land degradation and provide solutions to land reclamation and restoration with abandoned mining sites. The third one, that is participation of agro-science in semi-arid landscape, that is Agrisal project, which is a project for 6 years, World Bank Assistance Program, and I believe so far we spent about 2.5 years. Environment, which include environment, agriculture, and water resources. Continue and timely advanced advocacies, that is sensitization and mobilization of traditional rulers, religious leaders, general public on environmentally friendly program. Provision of social and livelihood intervention program to cushion the effect of climate change, which we are all aware the effect of climate change is all over the world. Provision of climate smart agricultural practices such as improved seeds, solar farm irrigation machines, power tiller machine, pesticides, and the chemical, among others. Number 7, that is the provision of waste management facilities to control the issue of flash floods in our major cities and towns. Even last week, we were able to receive a NEMA official, which they came here and informed regard to the flood alarming across the 14 local government areas in the state. Collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Environment, Agriculture and Water Resources in addressing impact climate change. Establishment of policies on environment, environmental sanitation, forestry and climate change is also ongoing. Having said that, the role of NGO and civil society also cannot be overemphasized. Environment governance cannot be let out to the most, especially in the following areas: collecting and disseminating of analysis of information, participate in policy development processes, performing and operational functions, monitoring and compliance of environment laws, and also the other regulations. advocating for environmental justice. Therefore, addressing the environmental challenges is responsible for not only the government, but all of us. All hands shall be on deck for the proper solution to those challenges. One man, one tree. Each one can plant one tree. The logo is green the environment and saving the lives. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi. Representative of the NADGW, representative of the UNICEF, please permit me to stand before the existing protocol. Today, I'm going to present a paper to mark the celebration of World Environment Day. The theme of the World Environment Day is land restoration, desertification, and drought resilience. That is our land, our future. Land restoration is the process of restoring land to a different or previous state with intended purpose. Example for human utilization, e.g. urbanization, that is for building houses and other human needs. Then we also use it for wildlife activities, example game reserves, and more so, plant communities are also there in the intended purpose of the using land. Example, botanical garden and the rest. But before we continue, we want to know the type of land that requires restoration. Not all land that requires restoration. The degraded land is the one that requires restoration. Example, the land eroded by desertification, that is as a result of encroachment of desert. Then we also have land eroded by erosion, either wind or water. We also have land flooded by water, washed away, and land vandalized by mining activities. And the last but not the least, wasted land as a result of pollution. The major causes of land degradation are human activities. About 85 are human activities, and others are natural disasters, such as wind and water. Deforestation is man-made, mining is man-made, drought is natural, soil pollution is man-made, and overgrazing, which is also man-made, among others. Then we have restoration techniques. There are many, but the major ones are the use of dry land management. That is by construction and rehabilitations of dams and art dams. That's one. Two, construction and rehabilitation of drainages on waterfront areas. Three, timely afforestation and reforestation programs. That's replantation. Example, shelter belt, woodlots, economic orchard, landscape restoration in the cities and towns, and fodder grasses for livestock. Four, cessation of illegal mining activities can restore land if the illegal mining activities has been stopped. Five, removing toxic materials from soil. That is the process known as remediation. Those our colleagues in the waste management knows that. Example, cyanide and mercury are very toxic to the soil. The cyanide can burn the grasses, and even the livestock that eat that grass will die. Then 7, eradicating invasive exotic species. There are species, plant species that are not good for the soil, so they need to be removed. Then 8, timely advocacy, sensitization and mobilization of general public on deforestation activities. Deforestation, what it means here is the indiscriminate cutting of trees. We cannot stop cutting of trees as a source of firewood, but there is a way we do it. Maybe we cut the branches, or we look for the older trees, we cut it. Then 10, planting indigenous species. Most of our indigenous species plants are in extinct. They are the ones can withstand the drought and other weather conditions. 11, encouraging the social fencing after tree plantation. What we mean by social fencing here is that if you plant a tree, you say you must fence it with barbed wire or cow link or what we call it. It will become more expensive. But if we change our mindset that the trees that are planted within the community are the responsibility of those communities to protect it. That is what we call social fencing. Move. Look at the pictures of some of the degraded lands there. Look at how they become devastated. Different types of degraded lands. If you look at it, you see it there. Move. Then, how to restore the degraded land using land clearing and tilling. Basically, there are two major ways of land restoration, manual and using machines. The manual way is by using the traditional implement, like hoe and the animal flock, a Galmatian. This system is time wasting and produce low yield as compared to the modern technology. 3, the machine system is the modern technology source of power tiller machines, tractors, Delfino flock, and swan buggy are the more efficient and cost effective because they can do more than what a man can do within a short period of time. For instance, the Delfino flock, it collects 10 times more rainwater and makes the soil more permeable than the traditional method of digging by using hands. Look at the manual and the machine implement which are useful. This is the hoe, the traditional one we use. Then we have the power tiller machine. Then we have the tractor. We have the Delfino flock. The spelling is wrong there. Then the last is the swan buggy. This swan buggy is used in the marshy area, a swampy area like Badama. Move. Where are you? Come to, okay. Now we move to desertification. Desertification is a type of gradual land degradation of fertile land into arid due to a combination of natural processes and human activities. You know we are in semi-arid area here. The arid is covered by desert. So the movement of the desert towards the aridity index is called desertification. The type of desertification are, we have slight that are slightly affected by desert. We have moderate that has started entering the area, the landed area. We have severe, which it has become 80 to 90% covered by sand. And we have very severe where it is a total desert like Sahara Desert. Then the causes of desertification are overgrazing, that is animal to be feeding on the same land from time to time, the same area. This is what we call overgrazing, of the livestock feeding on the grasses of a particular area for so many times. Then we have deforestation, that's indiscriminate cutting of trees for use of firewood. Then we have other farming practices. It also contributes to desertification. Then urbanization is there. When the need of building houses arise, we have to cut trees, and which encourage the movement of desert. Then the overall is the climate change. Climate change, when there is no rainfall, also contribute to the desertification. The mining of land resources and natural disasters. The consequences of desertification. There are so many consequences. Number one, loss of rain-fed farmlands. The farmland can no longer be cultivated. Loss of forage for livestock. The grasses for feeding livestock is gone as a result of the desertification. Scarcity of fuel, wood or firewood. We no longer have the trees where we can cut to cook. Then causes of food insecurity. Okay. Causes of food insecurity. When there is a desert cover the area, you cannot farm and the food insecurity arise. Then it causes migration. Moving will be moving to more fertile land and leaving the desertified area. Causes of civil unrest. It causes unrest between the communities, fighting, clash, and what have you. Example is banditry. Desertification is one of the causes. Then causes of starvation and malnutrition, especially to the young women. Our children will become malnourished. Look at the deforestation pictures there. This one is caused by the bushfire. The other one is indiscriminate cutting. Look at how these trees were cut down in the name of timber and other use. We are done with time. Then the importance of trees and grasses, of plants. We have to know the importance of these trees that desert encroachment have negative effect on. When we say plant, we mean grasses, shrubs, and trees to humans. One, they provide food to eat. It's a result of plant that we get food to eat. Provide air, that's oxygen, because plant takes in carbon dioxide and give us oxygen. Use as medicine, you all know we use plants as medicine. Use as shelter, the wood we use in the roofing is from the plants. Use of landscaping purposes, in the towns you see so many muscular plants for beautification. Use in paper industry, the paper we are using here is from plants. Use of shelter belt windbreak purposes to break the wind so that it will not destroy our homes. Then above all other living organisms on this planet depend on plants. How to control and prevent this desertification? One, to maintain the vegetative cover, continual afforestation and reforestation, that's tree plantation, proper restoration of degraded land, cessation of deforestation, establishment of more shelter belts, establishment of more wood lots, establishment of more grazing reserves for livestock, advocacy and sensitization of general public on environmental friendly activities, planting of indigenous plant species. This is very key because they are the ones that withstand the drought. Then restoring original landscaping. For example, now the construction of road that is going on in the town, many trees were cut off but not replaced. Then we come to the last one, that is drought resilience. Drought can be defined as a prolonged period of abnormally low rainfall leading to shortage of water and low yield of farm products. Those from the agriculture know that type of drought. We have agricultural drought when crops are affected. We have hydrological drought, shortage of water, and meteorological drought when weather pattern dominates an area, maybe too much heat, too much cold, or what have you. Then causes of drought include low rainfall. Atmospheric conditions such as climate change is the major cause of the drought. Effects of drought are decrease in water quality and quantity, increase the incidence of illness and disease. When the water is not qualitative, you take it, you become ill and sick. Increase mortality rate, causes death, increase chances of wild bush fire, incidences and advanced mental health. Move. Mitigation, adaptation, resilience strategies of drought. Provision of drought-tolerant plants to endure low water content. That is what we call improved variety seeds now. The use of climate-smart seeds and seedlings. The seed we are using now, maybe in the next 2-3 months, it has grown up into crop. Then the implementation of national drought policies. We need to make a policies on drought. Provide early warning system. That is when the weather condition has changed, people should be alerted and the government so that adequate measures will be taken. As what my pamphlet just said now, there is about 4 or 5 local government that will be affected by low rainfall. Flood, excess rainfall. The provision of rainwater harvesting techniques. We have to use other means of harvesting water techniques. You see the pictures down there when you zoom. Then the use of drip irrigation. My people from the agric know that. Use of solar pumps, recycling of organic waste, planting more trees. That is, as my pastor rightly said, 1 man, 1 tree. It has to be in us. We start from now. When we go back, we plant a tree, even if it's in your house. 1 man, 1 tree. Then increase water storage capacity. That is building dams and what have you. Look at the people trying to plant trees. Look at the women. And if you look at these types of waste management, we have different colors of trash bins there. One maybe is used for papers, one is made for aluminum and iron, metals, one maybe is used for garbage and what have you. Then look at the rainwater harvesting. You just make a funnel. During the rainfall, you have a reservoir. The water will be going down there. You can reserve it in the east. I know they have been practicing this. In the east, they can stay for more than 4 months without water, but they are using that rainwater harvest technique that they. Thank you very much. Thank you.
My name is Amina PM Audu, and I'm going to make my presentation on tree planting. So, tree planting is the process of transplanting tree seedlings, as you have seen in this picture and also in the previous presenter, Malan Nasir, where he showed women growing trees for them to become seedlings in order to be transplanted. So the process of having to plant trees is using these seedlings in order so that which are sown in specific location with an aim of growing them into matured trees. This can be done for a variety of reasons, including environmental, restoration, increasing green cover, providing timber or non-timber forest products, and enhancing aesthetic value for an area. Tree planting is a crucial activity with multifaceted benefits for the environment, economy, and society. It plays a significant role in combating climate change, preserving biodiversity, and enhancing human well-being. Those concerted efforts in tree planting and sustainable forest management, we can create healthier and more resilient planet for future generations. Why must we cultivate the habit of planting trees? There are so many benefits, and I'm happy that maybe by the end of today, a lot of us here will go back home with the zeal of planting not just 1 tree, but several, and also carrying the message along. Number 1 reason, or maybe one of the benefits of environmental benefits of planting trees consist of carbon disconsumption. As it has been mentioned, trees emit oxygen, and by taking away carbon dioxide, so it improves our air quality, because there's so much pollution all over now, either dust or maybe smoke from companies, or even due to the use of firewood. We also have soil conservation. Tree roots help stabilize soil, preventing erosion and loss of fertile land. Trees improve soil health by adding organic matter through leaf litter. All those leaves that you see them falling from trees, they aim to cover the soil, and which helps in restoration as well. Water cycle regulation, and also biodiversity enhancement. They can provide habitats for various species of flora and fauna, providing tree diversity supports ecosystem resilience and biodiversity. As you have seen in the picture, there was once we did a campaign of planting of trees. Planting of trees is not just for professionals, but it's supposed to be the sole responsibility of every person in the society, regardless of whether the person has disability or not disabled. It's a responsibility because climate change affects everybody, especially women, persons with disabilities, and young children, and older people as well, because they are most vulnerable. So we have to have that culture of planting trees. This is just a repetition of what Malan Nasru has said earlier about, having medicine through plants, and also this is another point here, job creation, because you have found that in most cities you find people selling flowers or trees. This can serve as a job creation. They can earn money as well, and also it saves energy. One of the things I look forward to when I come to Gusau, I know it's a milder vegetation compared to Sokoto, and many times, many times during the rainy season, you find that we could do like a week, if not more, if maybe there's a problem with the high tension wire in Funtua or along Zaria Road, you find that it's not that hot. Why? Because we have a milder vegetation, and also I have a lot of trees in my house. So I hardly look for generator or anything like that. So it saves energy. Anything that you need to not spend more money either on diesel for generator or petrol, you end up able to next please, be able to use it wisely. And also, like I said, reduce consumption of energy. And then also the health and well-being. Trees contribute to mental and physical health by providing green spaces for recreation and relaxation. I remember when we were in Sokoto State, when I was growing up, we had this garden and gomna. They were situated in places near the government house. And these were places that everybody was allowed to go and sit down, especially nowadays that our mental health is compromised due to the plenty of problems that we have. Whenever you find gardens and wherever you see green plants all over, you find that your stress is reduced and improves also your mood. Next please. It also aesthetic and recreational value. This also is very common when you go to big cities, especially, for example, Abuja. Abuja is making a lot of effort in making sure that areas have trees, plants all over the place. And it is really different when you go to Abuja. You will not help but appreciate. Next, please. It also provides educational opportunities. When you have planting projects, and also those students that might want to go and learn one thing or the other during their botany lessons, and also thank you. And also next, temperature regulation. This also has to do with providing shade. Next please. Disaster vegetation. This has to do with, during disasters such as landslides and hurricanes. In Zamfara state, we have extreme heat, so it really helps also. And then with what the MC has said now, that he has planted over 100 trees. This is part of the stewardship on earth, a personal and ethical responsibility, which we all need to take on ourselves. Let's have the zeal to plant these trees, if not for the beautification of our environment, but even Islamically, it's one of the most important things you can do as Sadaqatul Jariyah. Thank you. Next, please. This also leaves legacy and inspiration. Trees planted today will benefit future generations. So that is why it's always, you don't even know, you might be the one to get the benefit of planting those trees. but the future is coming and definitely will benefit those ones there. That is why it's not good to have all these indiscriminating tree planting, cuttings and all that, because you are not only injuring the present generation but the next generation. Next please. So these are the strategies that can be used in planting trees. You have to look at the site, you know, assess the soil, and after assessing the soil, what plant is better? Like in most places we have dogonyaru or maybe ichanturare that has been used several times as windbreakers. And then is it like you want to do mango trees, you know, or is it oroa? Because I remember in the villages you find ich and oroa, I don't know what they are called, I think locust yes, locust beans. That's ich and oroa in Hausa. So therefore, these are all depending on the kind of climate. You cannot bring avocado tree, for instance. Avocado tree, you find them normally around vegetation of Jos or in the north central. But this is we're in the northwest, so you have to look at what really is suitable for the climate. So, and also space availability. Ensure there is enough space for the tree to grow. Do not put trees that are too close up or maybe too close to the building in case that the veins can now, the roots can now interfere with the building. And then also, like I said, species selection, native species, prefer native species, and better adapted to local environment and support local wildlife. Diverse planning. Plan a variety of species to increase biodiversity and resilience against pests and diseases. And then purpose-oriented. Choose species of trees with the intention of the purpose, such as, is it fruits you want? Is it only shade? Or is it like you're combating erosion control, or you want it to be a timber? So this one too you have to put into consideration. And then preparation of the site. You have to go weed it, clear the site, and make sure that maybe it has been watered and proper manure has been put in place and all that. Proper spacing also is considered, and then planting techniques, next piece. So correct depth should be used. Those trees, for example, with huge roots that can affect buildings, you have to put them deeper in a way, so that this is very important. And also the watering also of the trees needs to be put into consideration. So no matter where you are planting those trees, you need to, it's part of the process of, you have to map out who is going to water the plants. Like those ones that we have done in schools, we ask the students through the headmasters, you know, for them to be able to water those plants. And then mulching. Apply a layer of mulch around the base of the trees. Mulching could be from anything, maybe from leaves as well, falling from, so that they could cover the trees for the moisture to be conserved. Next please. Maintenance. The trees need maintenance. Sometimes they need a little bit of cutting, and if maybe a branch is becoming red or something like that, it needs to be removed so that it doesn't affect the growth of the tree. And pruning trees to remove dead or damaged branches. Protection, protect young trees from pests, diseases, and physical damage from animals and humans. So whatever it is better we have maybe a fence somehow. That is why you find that there are some fence that they do, they cut other smaller, what do you call it? You know, they use it to surround the trees, or maybe wood, or maybe a fence, a metal fence, or anything like that. And it should also be given regular monitoring of these trees, you know. And then community involvement. Whatever is just part of what we're doing now. We're celebrating a day, but we're also educating and we're also creating awareness about what is happening regarding tree planting and also rescuing our lands and all that. So through that, we'll be able to promote, engagement of volunteer programs, so that we'll be able to, we can set dates to say, okay, we are going to this area next week. Everybody that is involved should come, who is interested. That way you are raising awareness and also providing volunteership. Next, please. Partnerships. Collaborate with local governments, non-profits. There are a lot of people who are able to do this, but if they don't know that you are interested in doing this thing, it could be really difficult for them to engage. But once you tell them, they'll be able to accept, and before you know it, you might not have to pay anything. You can get your manure from people, you can get those ones that are going to dig the hole, and even those ones giving the seedlings for free, for instance. And then you also need long-term planning. Why? Because of sustainability. To ensure that tree planting efforts are sustainable by planning for long-term maintenance and care. Succession planting. Plant for succession planting to replace trees that may be lost over time due to age, disease, and other factors. So this is because no matter what, trees continue to die either for one reason or the other. Whatever it is, the cause of their death, then we should be able to replace it by another. So it's a continuous process. Adaptation. Be prepared to adapt strategies based on changing environmental conditions and new scientific knowledge. Implementing these strategies can help ensure the success of tree planting projects and contribute to the health and sustainability of the environment. Strategies of planting trees. Okay, so repetition. Sorry, that is a mistake. So, all in all, we can see that tree planting is very important. It is not just, you can do it for money, you can do it for free, you can do it as a sadaqah, and you can also do it for beautification. So, thank you. No, I'm trying to conclude, but thank you very much. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, members of the press, Assalamu alaikum. When I was invited for this program, I was told that I'll be speaking for 5 minutes and that there was no need for me to, produce some slides, but only to be informed this morning after I came here that I need some. So I will make my presentation and then prepare the slides later and share with the director, inshallah. The past two speakers have taken us around the concepts of environmental science for us academics, but I will begin with a brief history. About 14 billion years ago, when the Big Bang occurred, planets were created. Planets, solar systems, galaxies, they were all created. And some of these planets are actually just balls of gases, while some of them are terrestrial. Now, after this Big Bang theory, our own solar system was created, our own sun and the planets around it. And the planets around the sun were 8. 4 of them are gaseous planets, so they are balls of gases, while 4 are terrestrial. What we mean by terrestrial is because they have rocks, they have surfaces that you can stand on. Out of these 4 planets, Earth is one of them. But Earth has one factor or one function that other planets do not have. That is, it has liquid water. Liquid water, scientifically, is the most important recipe for life. That is why in our solar system, only Earth has life. Even in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us, وَجَعَلْنَا مِنَ الْمَاءِ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ حَيٍّ. So life comes from water, and our planet has liquid water. Other planets may have water, but either in the form of ice or in the form of vapor, and those do not support life. Now, life was created through water, and our population grew. The and we started utilizing water. We started, improving industrialization, mechanization, farm practices, cooking, and all other things. And then we started overusing this resource. And we are creating so many factors or so many ingredients that are affecting the quantity of water on the planet. One of those things is actually greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases are many, but the most important one that we are talking about is carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide increases global warming. Global warming increases desertification. Desertification increases drought. Drought increases soil degradation. So everything is interconnected. Warms up the planet. And as the planet gets warmed up, water escapes in form of gases. Gaseous water vapor, they call it water vapor. In some places they call it humidity. Like I said earlier on, when water exists in gaseous form, it does not support life. So this process, this warming up of the planet is actually leading us towards destruction. And that is why governments, civil society organizations, and other stakeholders are focused on what they call reclaiming the environment before we reach what they call a tipping point, the point of no return. So one of the major factors, one of the major substances that should be saved is actually the soil. When you save the soil, you will eventually save the environment. I will explain this a little. One, because soil is where we stand. It provides what we call ecosystem services. It is on the soil that we produce food. Soil provides some of us with even medicine, some of us with water filtration system, because if you get groundwater, you are sure that they are safe to drink and naturally healthy. So soil is very important. But our activity, overgrazing, cutting off of trees, and other activities are actually destroying the soil. So how do we reclaim our soil? That is one of the themes of today's World Environmental Day celebration. I have some answers, but they are not enough. One of the things we do is that even though there is a lot of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, it is far, far less than the carbon dioxide we have in the soil. So soil contains about 3 times the amount of carbon we have in the atmosphere. But it is the carbon in the atmosphere that is actually the most destructive and the most harmful, not that of the soil. So one of the major factors of reclaiming our environment and reclaiming soil is increasing the carbon content in the soil. Studies have shown that if you increase the carbon content in the soil by even 0.5%, you are mitigating climate crises that are likely to be caused by 1 full year of carbon emissions from fossil fuels or other anthropogenic activities. So it is important to increase the carbon content in the soil. But how do we do that? The answer is very, very simple: by planting trees. You plant trees. What do trees do to increase carbon content in the soil and save the environment? Number one, they absorb the carbon in the atmosphere, which they use it to manufacture their own food. And two, as they are doing that, they are passing 30 to 40% of that carbon they attracted from the atmosphere into the soil, thereby increasing the carbon stock in the soil. Three, it provides microorganisms with, let me say, breeding spaces. They breed, they manufacture their own food too, especially as they are decomposing dead plant and organic matter. So in this process, these microorganisms will help create what we call mineral-bound carbon stock. This mineral-bound carbon stock will improve, one, water retention capacity of that soil, thereby saving the water we are losing every day in form of water vapor. Two, it increases fertility of that soil. thereby improving or increasing food production. Number 3, it enhances nutrient cycling for plants. So you will require less fertilizer for your agricultural activities than when the soil is having less carbon stock. So it has several factors, several functions, and several uses, but I will stop at these 3. Now, how do we do this? Number 1, as a solution, how do we engage in soil reclamation or soil improvement? Number 1 is we engage in climate smart agriculture. You know, the rainy season has been reducing over time, and the production, food production, the normal food crops that we produce will take about 5 to 6 months to mature, right, for harvesting. But now with the shortening of rainy season, it takes, the rain will not be enough for the food to mature. So when we have climate smart agriculture, climate resilient seeds, then we will begin to increase our food production and be food self-sufficient, or we ensure food security. And 2, we reduce over-tilling of soil. Too much tilling, too much agriculture on one portion of land will actually reduce fertility and will degrade the soil over time. So there has to be systems where we employ mechanized agriculture, like I said, and climate smart, which will help in ensuring nutrient cycling within the soil and improve soil health and fertility. And 3, we optimize the use of fertilizer. It is not all the time that you apply fertilizer in the soil, because fertilizer makes soil more acidic and it kills microorganisms, it destroys the nutrients in the soil, and so many other things happen. And it can only be a short-term solution to provide nutrients to the plant over a short period of time and where you produce your food, and in the long term it is more harmful to the soil. Finally, like I said, we plant trees. Today I stand here, alhamdulillah, I have seen the major stakeholders in the environmental sphere. I am the state coordinator of Green Zamfara project. I'm sure you must have seen it on the social media. We plan to plant about 20 million trees over 10 years. And so far we have about 2,000 seedlings donated and about 350,000 naira donated by Good Samaritans. And we've already launched the program on Wednesday, on the 5th of June, which coincided with the World Environment Day, to make it symbolic. And so far we have planted about 500 seedlings and will continue. Before the end of June or by mid-July, inshallah, we will expand this program to cover the whole of Zamfara state. And as I stand today, I am offering our hands in partnership to the major stakeholders in environmental sphere. The Great Green Wall Project, ACRISAL, Minister of Environment, Minister of Agriculture. We are here with, we are your partners, we are your colleagues. We help each other and save our environment. Thank you very much.
da ina ganin abubuwan da ka lissafa gaba ɗaya in aka tattara su suna ma iya haifar da yunwa wallahi gaskiya Allah ya mana kariya. I bet he used the down-to-earth strategy, taking us to know some of the procedures.
Da girma kwamishina na environment wanda permanent secretary yake wakilta, sauran kwamishinoni, sauran manyan baki, mahalarta, 'yan jarida, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A madadin mai martaba sarkin kalamin gusa alhaji Dr. Ibrahim Bello, ina mai godiya ga Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala da ya bani ikon halarta da tsayawa gabanku da fata alheri ga wannan rana ta environment ta duniya. Wannan ba karamar nasara ba ce. Fata ta alheri ta farko, ina fata abinda masu kasidu suka gabatar to ma'aikatar environment mu gani kasa, mu kuma tabbata ko mu muna shirye da dukkan abin da za a yi wanda zai zama ne alheri ga al'umma to muna shirye mu ba da goyon baya. Duk wani volunteer da a bisa ƙasa ne yana ganin bai kai masarauta ba, don masarauta an da ma'aikatan da ba a yi musu albashi kuma ba su taɓa kuka ba, kuma mutane ne kawai sauran mutane, duk abin da rayuwar mutane ke bukata suna bukatar shi, amma haka nan muka rayuwa don mu ga mun ci gaba. Kamar in ɗaya ɗebo cikin kasidar sun gabata cikin magana Malam Nasiru cewa haka mutum ya sara ice don shi kone shi, to in wanga ya zama da yi, to wanda ya hito ya dibi ice bai so yasa an ka sare shi wa, to shi ba ma san za mu ce a kai shi asibiti koko. To muna da matsaloli cikin al'umma da yawa waɗanda kamar da aka kiran wayar da kai, in an ka hada da masarauta an ka yi tsaye duk inda aka son sako ya kai insha Allah zai kai. Duk inda adda mutane akwai mai anguwa ko hakibi da uban kasa, to sadda sun ka ga abu za su gadi ma'aikatanku su sanar da su don samun sauƙin yin aiki da kuma nasara. Ina fata insha Allah duk abin da mun ka ji an faɗa, to insha Allah zai tabbata za a aikata shi don mi don nasarar al'umma. Allah shi muna jagora, Allah mu da kwanin shi lafiya.
This very historic event to understand clearly what is the mission of this meeting. It is all about creating awareness for us to make sure that we have saved our environment, we make it friendly use, and we enjoy the benefit of the environment. But there are some other issues or factors that is affecting the environment. We are all aware that we are in a situation of climate change, and in that a lot of things has been changing. At this point, I think I will, the floor is open for anybody that want to make comment, questions based on the presentations, and maybe if there is anything you want to contribute, because we are all here to understand what we are expected to do in order to protect our environment. Is there anybody? Okay. These educative contributions, I think we have learned so much about what you have contributed.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Kabir Ibrahim Zamfara. I'm representing UNICEF of the field office. Thank you very much for the wonderful presentation made this morning. And we all know environmental challenges is everyone's business. Looking at the current environmental predicament, especially with the heat wave that we have recently experienced and extreme weather fluctuation, there is need for each and every one of us to give whole hand together and move toward creating a better and enabling environment, not only for our sake, but for the future. And this is a very wonderful collaboration with the Ministry of Environment, Zamfara State. Even though we come from Wash Unit, but environment is always part of us. Let each and every one of us have more than one tree planted, because one tree is not enough. To be candid, in daily activities, we have been cutting down trees without even counting numbers. So planting one tree, I don't think will even replace, not even planning of the future. So having one tree monthly may be a way forward towards sustaining and preventing our environment. Thank you very much.
My contribution is with regard to the presenters. Especially in our case, it has been planned in our activities with collaboration with the FAO, Federation of the United Nations, to have a massive landscape restoration in this project. So this issue of large-scale restoration requires a lot of effort, and also all hands on deck to achieve this laudable planning activities on that project. So when we are talking about large-scale land restoration, we are talking of thousands of hectares to be recovered. So this thing requires a lot of effort by all stakeholders. So you see, in the protection of Malam Nasir, the issue of this management of the plant or the trees to be planted. So that's where the issue is. Not just planting a tree, but managing the tree is very, very key, very crucial. So you see, with the present development brought by the FAO on the issue of social fencing. Social fencing actually requires a lot of sensitization and mobilization of the communities to benefit from this intervention of a Christian project. So the issue of social fencing actually it requires a lot of, as I said, mobilization and sensitization. We are talking about involving the community where this intervention will take place. So we have to mobilize people so that they will manage and protect these trees to be planted. Because we're going to just plant tree and leave it like that. So considering the attitude of our people, when you plant maybe 100 hectares in a community or an area, and you make use of the people to that people from that area to manage those trees. Actually, sometimes it used to be difficult with the attitude of our people. So I think when we are planting, maybe shelter them in area of maybe where it is measured mostly in kilometers. So when we say we use visual fencing, there is also negative aspect of that, because our people, their national attitude, they can leave those plants without proper protection, or given the proper management it requires, and this thing will be a wasted effort. So I think the issue of social fencing needs to be actually looked into. The physical fencing, most especially, it is more promising and more protecting the trees to planted, so that we cannot waste our resources. Plant trees in large area, restore a large area of land. But at the end of the day, when we came to, take a stock of survival, we just made planters on very, very unappreciative percentage of the survival rate. So that is my also with regard to the Ministry of Environment, we are celebrating World Environment Day. So we expect from the Ministry of Environment at least to hear from them how many or what are the planned activities by the ministry in terms of making seedlings available to achieve these objectives of the theme of this year's World Environment Day. Thank you.
Over 5 million, sorry, I stand to be corrected. So the maintenance is an issue. And the issue of this social fencing is what is reigning now. Because if we say we plant a tree, we bought wire to fence it. How many kilometers are we going to fence for the shelter beds? And you are aware of the bandits who are going around to remove this wire. It's only that we change our mindset that this thing belongs to us for sustainability. We are the one that will destroy it, we will not. We are the one that have the livestock, we will not allow our livestock to go and vandalize it. So that's the issue. And even now we are trying to discourage the watering system of these plants. It's costly. It's consuming a lot of cost. The watering system. That's why it's always advisable to plant during the rainy season. And with the deployment of NAGGW, I expect them to talk. Anyway, I will enter into the issues. They have made improvisation where they put a what do you call it, a plastic something that will retain water for more than 3 to 4 months after planting. Yeah. So these are the issues that we can plant as many as thousands of trees if we cannot maintain it. It's null and void. Then lastly, Mr. NRO I think natural, what do you call it, forest management agency, they are in the best position to answer the question. The commitment by the state government to plant how many number for in the approved budget. Thank you.
Our budget in terms of planting trees.
But the remaining seedlings will be distributed to the communities, most especially the kids or the students that will be invited within the community. They will be given these seedlings free for them to have a funds in planting these trees. You see, you have to engage the students. That is why UNICEF is involved in this exercise. And at the same time, like Madam Nasur had made mention, including Akiru, this social fencing is very imperative. What I mean here is that when you initially involve the community, the participating community, right from nursing the seedlings, that is when you have your social involvement. Because when a community is involved in raising the seedlings, he will be proud of, this is my tree, I plant this tree, I plant this tree, I plant that tree. And as such, there is no need of any technicalities in making a fencing wire or anything. But when we come to large plantations like the shelter belt, woodland, and all else, you need to have your fencing. But when you involve the community, there is no way, even when you have this, the fencing wire, or you don't have that particular community, when you have a community woodland plantation, they will protect their seedlings, their planters. So community involvement is very imperative. Community involvement is very imperative. Yes.
It's better we move to the next item on the agenda. Even though myself as the chair of this session, I wanted to ask some clarification from the scholars that make some presentation. There is this issue of when we look at the mango trees presently and compare the fruits that it produces is going low. What are the factors? There is issue of this chemical use of chemical fertilizer. It affects the soil as well as even the human being. So what are the strategies we need to employ to see that some of these issues we mitigate them? Thank you very much. I think from this we have come to the end, except when you want to answer these questions I have asked. Thank you very much.
Exotic or improved variety or indigenous. These are the things we need to know before answering that question. Because if it is hybrid, the lifespan of the hybrid is too short. Not more than 2 years you will start bearing fruit and die out. You have to even replace it. So that is only my contribution, sir. Thank you.
We have done so well. I commend you for that, and we thank you for that. Let me first of all call on everybody. Everybody is a stakeholder in building our environment. It's not only government that has the responsibility of taking care or protecting our environment. So the little you can do can contribute immensely in protecting our environment. For instance, let me start in our cities and rural areas. From cities to our rural areas. In our drainages, putting dams, refuges in our drainages are not helpful matters. You are polluting the environment by doing so, because you are encouraging pollute in that environment. That is one aspect of it. So let me call on all and sundry to put all hands on deck to protect our environment. There are many ways you can do to help in protecting our environment. Our farmers has a very vital role to play in protecting our environment. As an agriculturalist and also entomologist, let me also use this opportunity to call on our farmers to reduce the excessive use of agrochemicals, because it damages our soil, thereby, causing a lot of harm to our soil and may lead to even leaching, garden erosion, split erosion, and so on and so forth. Of which all these are detrimental to our environment. Also, let me use also this opportunity to call on the main Ministry of Environment, to use this opportunity and maybe introduce a topic to our both primary, secondary, and tertiary institutions. That topic should be, that subject should be mandatory to all students by inculcating the culture of planting a tree and how to maintain that tree. From the subject will be educating our pupils and our students that culture. I think it will help immensely. It will help very well by coming up with that culture of knowing the importance of tree, how to maintain. Even if you cut a tree, of course we must have to cut. We just have to cut a tree, but then replace it. Let our pupils know from the beginning that it's very important to maintain a tree. And it's important. So if the Ministry of Environment can introduce this, I think it will help. That is to protecting our environment. Then lastly, let me speak specifically to the last speaker who employs the Ministry of Agriculture to partner with him. I want to tell you that the Ministry of Agriculture is always ready to partner with anybody who is ready to bring to meaningful things up to the state. So you are always welcome. I only want to advise you to maybe write or visit the Ministry of Agriculture and engage them and tell them what you want from them. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
His Royal Highness the Emir of Gusau, ably represented by the Senior District Head. I want to please permit me to stand on the existing established protocol. Good morning, everyone. It has been such an honor to be a part of this wonderful event. On behalf of the Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources, Rwazan Agency in collaboration with UNICEF, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed guest, most respectively His Excellency the Executive Governor, Dauda Lawal, for not only being here with us, but also agreeing to make this event happen. You have always been generous with your time whenever you are requested. Thank you, sir. Sincere thanks to the Honorable Commissioner, Minister of Environment, and all other commissioners that are here with us. I will be failing in my duty if I did not thank the Chief of UNICEF Field Office Sokoto, who had graciously supported the commemoration of this historic annual event, 2024 World Environment Day. Environment Day is celebrated on 5th of June every year. All around the world, people grow trees for increasing the number of trees in the world and for preserving the nature. Let me extend our appreciation to all the heads of various departments within the ministry who handled the organizing of this historic event throughout. Please permit me to also extend our profound gratitude and thanks all the participants who made the event a memorable one. I'm intensely happy to see that people, particularly youth, are motivated to participate in planting of trees in order to save the environment. Therefore, I hope you will all continue to plant trees in your homes, offices, farms, and other important places for making our environment safe. Finally, I would like to thank all of you present here for making the time to be with us today and helping us make this event a grand success. Thank you once again. Wassalamu alaikum.